beauties. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm excited to do the next episode of Let's Create a Healthy Relationship with Money. And we're going into chapter 3, and it's about to get really intense. So, why don't we get into it? Chapter 3 is called Your Money Style. It starts with quick question. Which one are you? Spender, saver, shopper, hoarder, or investor? Has anyone else ever told you that you are one of these? I see a lot of online quizzes designed to squeeze you into one of these or similar boxes. Maybe you've even told others that's who you are, as if your approach to money is somehow a fixed part of your identity. But what if I told you that when it comes to your relationship with money, names like saver or spender are just labels put on you? They are not a reflection of who you are or who you have to be. Do you find the idea freeing, exciting, maybe even slightly scary? Yes, it's true that you have natural behavioral tendencies hardwired into your personality. Just as some people are naturally more introverted or extroverted. You may be wired to spend, save, or invest your money. These natural tendencies make up what I call your money style. But those organic money styles then can get shaped by your money story. That is, by what has happened to and with you. To say, it may help to think of it this way. Your money style is the result of your built-in tendencies. You didn't choose them, you were just born with them. To be sure, influences in your environment have shaped who you are and even caused wounds that affect how you avoid painful parts of your money story. But certain things are simply part of your behavioral DNA, if you will. Your money style is the result of the choices you have made and of your responses to the actions and inputs of others. However, the labels that get slapped on you by yourself or others, and often more the result of your story, has shaped your style than a product of who you are or must be. At the end of the day, neither your style nor your story determines your future strategy when it comes to money. But once you become aware of your style and story, you can decide for yourself what you want to change to create your money strategy. I call it the money strategy formula, and it looks a lot like this. Style times story equals strategy. Interesting. Okay, and then it continues to go on to say, let's break down the money strategy formula, starting with the first component, your money style. Each of us comes into this world with certain behavioral tendencies. As you grow up, those tendencies get shaped by a million little influences and emotions tied to money experiences and repeated over and over again. You watch other people respond to money, listen to teachings about money, believe certain creeds about money. You may even develop learned behaviors over time as you figure out how best to interact with other people around money. These behaviors function a lot like default settings, so they can often come out when you feel under pressure, afraid, or anxious. Okay. I can relate. I'm relating. I get it. I'm reading in this chapter, so I'm just warning y'all now. So it says, I've created a simple assessment tool to help you uncover your natural money style. Keep in mind that we're not trying to psychoanalyze you or do a deep psychological profile, nor is this tool intended to provide financial advice. Thank you for saying that. We're painting with a broad brush here to identify significant tendencies based on your behavioral DNA. It is also important to note that not one style is better than another, and each style comes with unique natural benefits and potential barriers. Let's take a few minutes to discover which of the 4 money styles is most likely your own. As you read each of the following scenarios, choose the response you would most likely tend to have. Some of the scenarios clearly connect to money, while others assess how you respond to life inputs in general to get a sense of your natural wiring in certain situations. There are no right or wrong responses, so don't overthink it. Alright, so next up we have like a bunch of questions here, if y'all can see. So I'm going to answer these questions and find out what my money style is, and I'll be right back, okay? So I'm gonna read out these questions. I'm not gonna read out all the likely answers. If you wanna see what the money style quiz is, feel free to get the book, but I'm just gonna write what I said. So the first question is, your cousin lets you know he has a can't miss investment opportunity. I picked C. Applaud your cousin for pursuing his dream. You want to encourage him, but also take a closer look at the situation to make sure it doesn't harm your relationship. And then number 2 is congratulations. You had an unexpected windfall of money come your way. You most likely respond with, I chose B. It's time to celebrate, travel the world, and create memorable adventures with family and friends. And then number 3 is you saved some money and you are ready to make some investments, so you reached out to financial advisors who wants to review your financial situation. You most likely respond with B. You feel a little stressed about the conversation since you don't feel you have a firm grasp on the details, but you really enjoy talking. The following question is, your friends suggest to hang out this weekend via a group text and are open to ideas, and I most likely respond with D. What's our price range for dinner? It's a Saturday night, so we might want to consider reservations and the parking situation. If we decide to go downtown, I'll look into some options. And then number 5, you just found a 30-day challenge online to cut spending and increase savings. I chose D. You look up the challenge online to see if it's legit, to determine what it entails, and to check for any reviews before you commit to it. Number 6 is you finally found the perfect place to live, but it costs a little more than you had planned. I chose C. You talk about it with friends you trust and anyone who might be living with you. If it works for them, you might be willing to go for it, but you want to be sure. And then after that is number 7. As you wait in line at the checkout, your favorite snack starts calling your name. I chose C. You're hesitant to grab one since it wasn't on your initial list, but you remember you had also been planning to pick up something to share at work. Perfect. You can get the share size and let your colleagues enjoy it too, which I definitely have done before in the past, so that one was dead on. Number 8 is while checking out your favorite online retailer, you see a suggested purchase that looks cool and doesn't cost that much extra to add to your order. I chose C. You hadn't planned on getting anything else and should probably consider the trade-offs before deciding. If you buy this now, it may mean you can't get something else you need later. You bookmark it and stick to your current order. I think that was the answer that was closest to what I would do. That one was a little bit hard because it really just depends on the situation. If I'm really feeling good about my money, I'll make that purchase real fast. Sometimes when I really shouldn't anyways. But sometimes if I'm really thinking about it, I will be like, okay, hold on, put it on the wish list, maybe you'll get it later, blah blah blah, but you never know. Sometimes I just be erratic with my money, so. Alright, 2 more questions. Number 9 is a family member is asking for our financial help for the 3rd time this year. I said C. You take the time to listen to their problems and offer to try to find more resources to help them. Even if you have doubts, you'll likely give something just to preserve the relationship, which I would absolutely do, and people have done for me in the past, so I definitely appreciate that. And number 10, you want to leave a business venture with a longtime friend who has lost money, but they ask for one last conversation to convince you to stay. C, these conversations are always uncomfortable for you, and when they start to cry, you wonder if leaving is the right thing to do, regardless of numbers, which I definitely, I'm very empathic, and if someone cries around me, I'm crying, so it would definitely be hard for me to make the reasonable decision, which is to take a step back. So yeah, and it says now simply add up your scores for each letter option A through D. For A, I had 0. For B, I had 2. And C, I had 6, which is the most. And D, I had 2. So it says if you answered mostly C's, your money style is the shepherd. So that's my money style. And then the next page is gonna explain what the shepherd is. There's other ones as well, but that's the main one that I'm gonna focus on since it's my money. Here's what it says about the shepherd. This style is all about getting along and helping everyone else get along. Shepherds thrive on creating warm, welcoming, and accepting environments. True. They tend to make financial decisions by asking, how will this decision help or harm other people? True. Will everyone be okay if I make this or that move? True. I definitely feel that way. Benefits of a shepherd. Good at following the plan. Move slowly into new things. Very true. I move at a glacial pace. Keeps focus on one thing at a time. Also true. I have a hard time, managing. Sees the practical impact. True. Helps ease financial tensions. Sometimes. Favors feelings over facts. True. Very true. Patient, willing to wait. Things shepherds commonly say. Just stick with what we planned. Let's not rush into this. Don't get distracted. How will this affect that? No need to get upset. Let's work together. Does this feel right for everyone? Think long term. Interesting. So these are the positives. All right, y'all. So then the next section of this book chapter is titled Shadow Styles. Ooh. When you identify your natural money style tendencies, you can better understand why you tend to respond to money the way you do. But it's also important to know that all money styles have a potential dark side. I call them shadow styles. If you think of your natural money style as the hero, then these shadow styles are the villains, turning the benefits that can come from your strengths into barriers to your success. When you overplay your natural style with money without concern for the important things in life, your style can cast a very dark shadow. All right, so the shepherd becomes the doormat. Oh, oof, that one immediately hits home. So it says, the desire to keep everybody happy can destroy a shepherd's zeal, erode their confidence, and cause their friendship to wither right in front of them. When overdone, this style can mean someone unintentionally lets other people walk over their own financial health, ignored self-care, and eventually becomes bitter when they start to feel that their carrying energy has gone unappreciated. So freaking true. To what the weaknesses of a doormat are. Hesitates to express their desire is extremely true. Appears passive aggressive, also very true. I can be passive aggressive, especially when it comes about financial stuff that makes me uncomfortable. Lacks a big picture vision, sometimes yes. Dislikes confrontation about money, always, forever. Hopefully not forever, actually. Let's take that back. We're gonna rephrase that, not forever. Trusts people too easily, yes. Doesn't like making changes, yes. Scary. Tends not to take action, true. Things doormats commonly say, as long as it works for everyone else. Wow, okay. Fine, I guess so, if that's what you want. Oop! Clock that. Ooh, scary. As long as I'm helping someone today, true. Oh, I'd rather not have that conversation. Wow, okay. I can't believe they would do that to me. Also, wow, okay. It always worked just fine the way it is. Yeah, Not good with change when it comes to money. I'm sure something will come up. Wow, these are hitting home. These are, yeah. We're clocking it, and it hurts, and I'm trying to heal because clearly I'm in the shadow section of the shepherd, and I would like to be out of that. I don't want to be a doormat anymore, and that's why we're here doing this money journey, so I can hopefully change my relationship with money, because I don't want to be a doormat anymore, and I can feel it, and it feels uncomfortable, and I don't love it. So let's see what else this book's got to say, because I'm having whole new insights about how I see my story and how I see my style and all of that. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what else we got going on here. And then the next section of this book is called The Multiplying Factor. It says, once you identify your money style, you can then understand how the second part of the formula shapes it. Remember that your money story is the sum of all that has happened to you that affects how you think and act when it comes to money. It also includes what you have done to this point, the thoughts, the beliefs, the scripts regarding money that you have let live within you. However, your story serves as a catalyst of sorts, a multiplying factor that shapes how you express your style, usually in one of the following three ways. So the first one says it aligns. This happens when your natural style is free to be clearly expressed and encouraged to grow in all its benefits. Basically, when your life experiences lines up exactly with your natural style, life is good. Truth be told, though, it's rare for this to happen completely. It can easily happen in some areas and not others. For example, if you had a parent or a grandparent who taught you about your relationship with money, you might find that part of your story is in greater alignment than other parts. Very true. Okay, so then number 2 is it amplifies. This happens when your shadow style kicks in. Circumstances may have reinforced the value of your strength to the point where you unintentionally overplay your benefits in an unhealthy way. For example, over time, you may have learned that just winging it has worked for you. Oh, true. So you make it your go-to move and your relationship with money goes off course. Very true. I'm winging it often. 3, it diminishes and distorts. This happens when, for any number of reasons, your story causes you to suppress your natural benefits and focus on barriers. For example, perhaps your parents pushed back on your desire to drive forward and achieve goals. Instead, they encourage you to focus on getting aligned with others. Both have their place, of course, but by unintentionally diminishing your style, you leave your best on the table of life. It causes your relationship with money to feel suppressed as you struggle to make sense of it from a place of weakness rather than a place of strength. All right, so I'm trying to get to that strength place. Let's see. Having said all that, it says this is why it's worth diving deeper into understanding your money story, so you can see how it has shaped the way you express your natural money style. Once you're aware, you can empower yourself to do something about it going forward. By now, you may have begun to get a sense of what these barriers might be for you, the challenges your story presents to expressing your style through a clear money strategy. To help you heal these barriers, it's time to dive deeper into your relationship with money by taking yourself to money therapy. Book a time with a financial coach, attend a money class, or research online to explore free resources. These are some ways you can develop those matching tools. I know change is possible. What has happened to you in the past does not necessarily determine what is possible in the future. Whatever labels have been put on you in the past when it comes to money, irresponsible, tightwad, greedy, big spender, saver, hoarder, you can peel them off and create a new money strategy that better aligns with who you want to become. But here's the key. You need to take ownership of your mindset to begin your money reset. And I agree, it's time to take ownership. So next is a game plan. If you haven't completed the Money Styles Assessment, page 38, do so now. If you want to get deeper, try this exercise. So that'll be in the next video. Like I said, I want to take my time with this. I really don't want to rush through these chapters. And honestly, this 3rd chapter is pretty long. So this is where I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I know these journey videos have been pretty short, but I've really been enjoying exploring my money story and my money style with you all and learning about this equation and where I can go from there. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.